Good evening from BBC Look North. I'm Chris Pinrolf. Women in Lincoln have marched in protest against the election of the next President of the United States. Donald Trump's inauguration, as you've heard, will take place on Monday. But campaigners say that this, along with other national and international events, show that global gender equality is still a long way off. Our reporter Jake Zuckerman was in Lincoln.
Till the system becomes fair.
Till the system becomes fair.
We'll keep asking you to care.
We'll keep asking you to care.
Equal.
Equal.
Rights now.
Rights now.
Equal.
Campaigners marched through the centre of Lincoln today, their aim to raise awareness of the violence, abuse and inequality experienced by women both at home and overseas.
We're marching for women's rights across the UK. The march was actually sparked because a convicted sex offender has been signed into office as the President of the United States. But in the UK, the situation for women and girls is also really dire. For example, there's a 1.8% conviction rate for rape and domestic abuse in this country, meaning that 98% of perpetrators are walking free. 97% of violent crime is committed by men. Women and girls are the predominant victims of that.
This is just one of a number of protests taking place across the country, from Liverpool to Leeds. In Middlesbrough and Brighton, campaigners took to the streets.
It's time that we stood up. We deserve rights just like any other human being does. I think that's really important that our voices are heard today.
Just generally women's rights are not being heard and just being oppressed.
Women deserve a right to be heard and be treated as equals. End of.
60,000 marchers in 23 cities across the UK were expected to take part, and campaigners say they'll keep shouting until society takes notice. Jake Zuckerman, BBC Look North, Lincoln.
In other news, a man from Grimsby who was involved in the cultivation and supply of over £100,000 worth of cannabis has been jailed for 6 years. 39-year-old Adam Coolidge of Crowell Drive pleaded guilty to conspiring to produce cannabis and being involved in the supply of diamorphine and cocaine. Officers say he played an integral part in an organised crime gang operating around Grimsby. A 10-kilometre surveillance zone and a 3-kilometre protection zone have been put in place in 2 more parts of our area after further bird flu cases. An area near Pocklington in East Yorkshire and near Mablethorpe in Lincolnshire have both been placed under protection measures by the Animal and Plant Health Agency. It follows recent outbreaks near Beverley and Driffield. A new £2 million youth centre, which is set to open next month, is hoping to reduce antisocial behaviour in Lincoln. The facility at St Giles will provide sports as well as arts and crafts services to young people. Organisers say that they hope it will help the area as well as its children.
3 years in the making since we first started thinking about a new youth centre for this part of the city. So to be finally at that moment where we can open it, we can welcome people into it, and we can actually start to make that real difference that we know our work makes for people on this estate. It's a wonderful day. I'm really excited.
Meanwhile, nominations have been asked for by Hull City Council for a cup which is given to brave children. The Amy Johnson Cup for Courage was last awarded in 2012. It's open to Hull-born youngsters under the age of 17 who've shown exceptional bravery. Nominations close, though, at the end of the month. Well, in this afternoon's football matches, Hull City beat Millwall away 1-0 in the Championship to take them out of the relegation places. And Lincoln City enjoyed a similar scoreline against Northampton Town in League One, whilst in League Two, Grimsby Town managed a 1-1 draw with Chesterfield. Time now for the weather then with Katarina.
Hello there. Well, it's a very quiet weather story this evening and overnight. A few clear spells at first, mixed with those light winds. There'll be a lot of low cloud pulling in, misty and murky in places, and temperatures will fall away to around freezing points. A cold start tomorrow morning with a frost in places first thing. It'll be misty and murky, but I think once that mist and murk lifts, it is going to be quite cloudy through much of the day. But as you can see widely, it stays largely dry. Temperatures only around 3 or 4 degrees tomorrow, so it stays chilly through the day. And then as we head through Monday, those temperatures will lift ever so slightly. I think for many of us on Monday, it'll be mostly dry, plenty of cloud around. Occasionally it'll brighten up with just the chance of 1 or 2 spots of drizzle.
Well, that's it from us. Bye-bye.